Welcome, everybody. We'll get started. Thanks so much for coming over. Just love to reintroduce myself. I'm Paul Frampton. I have an evil twin brother that occasionally does funny things on stage. I let him do that because it's his only outlet. They put the accountants in the back room and lock the door, so every once in a while they let him out. So grateful for everyone spending the time and being a part of us and partnering with Visi. The things you're going to see and the things that are coming out and the direction we're all moving together is all, we recognize it's all because of your partnering, your success, your help, your support to us. Thank you. You know, I love breakout sessions. I love to introduce myself. I love to get to know you. At the end of the day, that's a big part of this business, and that's why I love it so much. So, since we're going to be talking a little bit about training and the circle of success, I'm going to share a little bit of my experience. I've been doing this for about 30 years. I've got 6 children, and you know, all that hard work, those late nights and activities and raising some kids, because I'm so proud. That's one of my favorite things, my best role. Dad, is some of these great things in life are being checked off. That, you know, those moments where you say, yeah, good, good positive feedback. My eldest son has been married 3 years, and his wife's pregnant. So in August 22nd, I'm going to be a grandpa. So, big one. I can't wait to put that title on my little lanyard, right? That's one very important to me. I'm so excited. My next daughter just got married in March to a wonderful young man. He's a good husband, and I'm looking forward to them making a life together. My next daughter gets married on June 4th, 2 in a year. They're breaking me. Come on, more cells. These weddings aren't cheap. But very excited. He's also a great young man, so I'm very excited for that. And then the 5th child, the next daughter, I've skipped one because you know, he hasn't done anything good this year. But the next daughter, so I've got 4 daughters, lots of girls. Well, I should say 5 because my wife. But lots of girls in the house. Wonderful. She's a junior, 17-year-old at Lone Peak where I get to help coach with the program. She ran for student body president this year because so next year she'll be the president of Lone Peak. She won. And so all of this is like happened the last month or so. So this circle of success, sometimes, and you'll hear Priscilla and I talk about it, those activities, the ones you're doing, and sometimes you don't know that it's going to turn out. Hey, in my own life, I couldn't be happier. I love to celebrate those successes. I kind of, in my own way, think I had something to do with it. Maybe not. You know, these kids are just good kids that I've been blessed with. So that's a little bit about me. I've got 6 kids. I still have one, the youngest. She's Asia, we call her, because many of you, if you didn't know, I lived in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia for 3 years with a company, opened up all of Southeast Asia, lived abroad. And you have to bring home a souvenir, right? She does look like me. Just clarifying, you know, because sometimes people ask, you know. So, yeah, I'm just kidding. 1 wife, 6 kids. She's called Asia. She's awesome. And then my other son that I jumped over, Devin, I have 2 boys and 4 girls. And, you know, energy works. What can I say? Just kidding. A lot of that was before. Welcome. We're going to be telling you a little bit about our training. And let me explain to you the philosophy behind it, probably something that you guys all know about. But I'm going to come to you from my perspective. I do love to coach, and I've done that on the side. It's a side passion. And I come from a great experience with a great mentor. My high school coach was Jim Spencer, Provo High School. I looked up to those people that played for me and the successes they had, and I wanted to be a basketball player. Now, I know that's kind of surprising. I'm very short. But I still loved the game, and so I wanted to know what we needed to do. So we'd go to camp. We'd show up to camp. Convention? We'd show up to camp as a bunch of young men thinking, how do we do it? And the coach would tell us and give us our shirt that would say Provo High Basketball, and on the corner here it said 4, 6, 12. Coach Jim Spencer would say, you know what that guy means, guys? At this program, for us to be successful, you got to commit to this. 4, 6, 12. 4 hours a day, 6 days a week, 12 months a year. You want to make this team? That's what it takes. You got all summer until next year's tryouts. We'll see how you do. You know, he was a real good old school, loved to yell at us kids. You know, my dad did the same, so I was very used to it. But it gave us an idea what he expected, established expectations. Now, to do that, and when I talk about circle 1, and then Priscilla's going to take circle 2, we'll go through that, I had to get what I needed. I couldn't just all of a sudden go without shoes and without proper socks and without, you know, uniform and shorts and a basketball. You know, I knew what 4, 6, 12, and I knew what that meant, but it would do me no good if I didn't kind of set myself up for success, having those things in place. And I'm going to explain time when we go through will 1, how that's similar to what we're going to talk about, that first will. And just because I always told Brittany I would share this, we've had fun around the office, where there's a will, got it. Where there's a will, there's a way. Will of success. I'm going to talk to you first about that and how this works. So I'm going to kind of drive over here, and then I'm going to say, there's Priscilla and I. We get to present. Priscilla gets the meat. She knows what she's doing. I kind of act like it. And I'm going to first talk about, and we're going to go live into the system as it currently is. And let me go back to the home page. There we go. Oh, we got to re-sign in. I'm going to share you my password. There it is. Paul Test. Sign in. Live. This is what it's going to look like. You saw Ben sort of show it, and he had different things because he took screenshots only a day ago or so, and now already it's evolving. So that's the first thing I want to make sure we understand here. As we launch this new system, and it's coming, May 9th is the plan date, it's going to continue to evolve. And then what's great about it is it will evolve after and ongoing. This system is designed so that we as a company can manage the strings and the changes and the content and the information so we can move quickly and adjust quickly with feedback and evolve it and improve it. But we're real excited where we're starting, but obviously, as Kent says, get a little better every day. And that's what we're trying to do. So this here is the front page. And the other ones, they'll talk to you about some of the things on this page. You got ranks. You've got 3 get free. You got the calendar. You've got down here the little culture, our social media area where we can talk amongst ourselves within our own Visi world, Visi partners. But I'm going to spend some time with Priscilla on Visi success circles. So we're going to go in here first, and mine's checked. That means you can see me as your downline. He's done the work. That's how you're going to know. If it was only 20% done, it would have a 20% in the middle of that circle. If it's 30% done, it would have 30%, 40, right? And so I'm already over here to Will 2, but that's Priscilla's part, so I'm going to get you back to Will 1. Now, it's done because I had to go through it, but that allows you now, as the upline, as you look down your personal enrollment tree and see individuals, you can go click on it and see exactly what they see and see where they're at, and okay, that person is doing their 4, 6, 12. That person bought the basketball shoes and the shorts and got a ball and is doing it, or that person hasn't done it yet. This allows you to support your team because the success that came with that 4, 6, 12 is it created a culture, a team. Everybody was committed. Not all of us have the same strengths. We all didn't go at the same speed. We're not robots. We have different strengths, but as long as we're committed and we have a similar language and we have a similar direction and we now know what we're talking about and we can hold each other accountable, work together, and move forward, we have a chance to be great. And that's what Coach Spencer wanted. So here come tryouts. I get on my shoes. I go out there with another 100 boys, and I got to be one of 16. Coach Spencer could say, okay, I know what I told him, 4, 6, 12. Go out, see who did it. And he could evaluate and keep the 16 and let the other go. Now, we are inclusive. We let anybody in. We love partners. But now we get a chance to give them the opportunity for success, and that's what this training and Circle of Success is designed for. So I'm going to go quickly because the first will is intended to be something that can be done fairly quickly. We utilize the first 48 hours as an example, but this could be done in 3 or 4. Depending, again, on a person's understanding of this type of thing. So, obviously, if mine would show up, it would have 0 if I hadn't done it. I'd come over here and I'd click on Get Social. As Get Social, up pops some things that I go through and check. Now, even since we've talked, certain things have been added. So one of the first things we wanted to do is welcome our partner. Have Kent Lewis say, congratulations, welcome. We're so excited for you to be a part of this team. The circle of success is so important, these trainings for you. This first wheel is designed to do this, to help you get this in order, get your business foundation in place, know where you need to go to find things, understand who we are, what we believe in, what's our values, what direction, blah, 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 blah. And then you'll see as I go through each of these. Over here, you'll note the little area clicks up. When I clicked on that, popped up, and this is a video that I can click on. It comes up, and it talks to me. You know, some of us would rather be given a little bit of interaction, media, and so on and so forth. Some of us would prefer to read, so on and so forth. Once I'm done, I am in charge of clicking that. I can click it off and on, but I'm in charge. Nobody's going to force anybody to choose that they're done or not. It's all about self-accountability. We're big people. We're adults. But I click that, and I get to move on. That step's on done. I've done the work. I've followed it. It's very simple. It's quick. Gets them in. As I go through this, I cannot go to the next step. So this doesn't show that, but if I was going through it, I can't get to the Get Smart stage unless I finish the Get Social stage and go through these and click them. All right? So that's the way to make sure that they're walking through it piece by piece, because there is an order to it. You know, if you're a good baker, you know there's an order, right? Everything, oftentimes the order has importance to it because they learn the things in the right direction. So we have an order, and again, if our order is not quite right, we can take this system and we can change that and fix it to prove it. We're going to get better with this. This is going to evolve. Next one is connect with Visi. We want you to get connected and get established, get this thing set up. This is going to walk you through it, how to do that, explain it. There's going to be forms. There's going to be lots of links as we continue to do that. Set up your Visi website. You know, how do you do that? Making sure it's established. What needs to be done? Click here. Do this. A little training. You know, once that's done, I click up. Introduce yourself to the Visi community. We talked about that, you know, world in which we can say, hey, welcome. Oh, I'm just started yesterday. My name is, or, oh, I can't believe it. I love this product. It's a way for us within that to stay connected as a Visi community. It's behind. It's our own. It's not outside. But we determine what kind of community we want to have. You know, some might get nervous and say, oh, no, somebody's going to say something negative. Paul's ugly. He's really short. If he just stopped talking, things would get done. You know, we have the opportunity to be what kind of people we want our partners in our community to be. We choose that, how we communicate, positive, whatever. So we're a community, guys. We're partnering. I know we won't say do it perfectly. That's all right. We're all doing it. But let's make sure that community, that chance to connect and the nature of how we communicate is something that's going to move us forward. And we have that opportunity. Follow Visi on social media. Each one of these, of course, you can quickly link in. If you have a Facebook, if you're a Twitter, what kind of social media you use. You know, I'm finally getting caught up. Slowly, on myself, I'm not real good with that stuff. But that's going to help us and tell us how to do it and walk us through it. Subscribe to the Visi Leadership Podcast. We're going to be having some training and podcasts and inspiration and leadership, things that can help people. That comes to them regularly that they can then listen to and utilize to continue to develop and get better as a leader and as an individual. Share your Visi story. And this one, it's just kind of saying, hey, I just started. You know, it's very simple, this part of it. And we'll get into the other part of your story and why. But initially, you know, I can't wait to lose 20 pounds. Or I came in this one because I'm looking forward to being X. Or whatever that story, and we'll go through that more. But this is just to get that base story out there. All right, this is my favorite, right? Get smart. Well, some of you or many of you maybe started here when they clicked on Learn More About Visi. Maybe it was that first corporate introduction video that you saw that got you started. Well, they might want to see it again. But this will be a chance for us to train and teach and talk a little bit again of the language of what Visi is about. After that, obviously, we'll get to know your products. Some of us might know more about one or the other. We started with one versus the other. If we need to learn more, here's a chance to see, and there's videos and explains them and so on and so forth. And we can add links to the white pages and all that. So you can go as deep as you want, to finding and knowing where this information is, or you can say, okay, I got it, I know it, this helps me navigate, I'm getting my shoes and my basketball in order, so I'm ready to go. Explore online office. There'll be a training. Maybe Brandon Smith or Ben Riley pop up as a video, and they say, these are the things you need to know about your online office. Let's train you. Let's teach you. Reporting, circle of success. Maybe, there's be a way to understand what that does for you. Very interactive, very simple, walking them through that and getting them going. Then, of course, one we all love here, especially on such a great day, and I know I pushed a button and a lot of things went in a lot of bank accounts today. Good job, everybody. Thank you for doing such a great job. But you need to activate your Paylution account to do that. Somebody might say, Paylution, what's that word? I even heard one time that somebody said, I thought it was junk mail. What's Paylution? And they send it. So this will at least teach them a language. Oh, Paylution is where? Oh, I don't want to delete that one. I want to get paid. I just set that up, turn my bank account, it goes right in my account. This will walk them through how to get paid and what that means and so on and so forth, right? Okay? And this information will do that. And then, of course, we would have an introduction to the performance plan. It's not going to go all the way deep. There might be some places if you want to go deeper, but it's going to give them an idea of the 30, 60, 90 days, what you can do to quickly start working towards making $1,000 a month and what those steps might be. Right, left, rising sun bonus. It's going to be a simple get-going style so we don't overwhelm somebody, right? I'm still working on dunking. But that overwhelmed me when I first went to that tryout. Dunking was not possible. Still isn't. But I wanted to. So we want to give them what they need initially to get them started. So here you are, circle of success. Your first 48, 24, even 4 hours. Depending on your speed, you can get through this and you can now say, okay. Now, I shared this in the other one earlier. Kent Lewis, of course, is my brother-in-law. His sister is older than him, so she's the big sister. She's my wife. As Kent said, she runs the company, right? She knows how to determine what the CFO does. Husband, I have to do whatever she tells me to do. Big sisters know how to make sure their little brothers are doing what they're supposed to do. Anyway, the whole family is a list family, There's something about having your list and your task, and you click it. Kent brings out his little book he gave you last year, and, write down your things and check them off. Well, this first will is to have that first step of success. Let's get things in order. Let's establish a foundation. Do it quick. I got it checked. Congratulations. Shoots out. You can look down your downline and say, woohoo, way to go. You got through the first one. Let's go to the next one. It's an opportunity to progress. Baby steps. So that's what this one here is, to get their foundation in place, get their business set up, make sure they understand where a lot of the things are at. They have a base language of communication. So if somebody calls you and they say, now what is that thing that kind of looks like a square? No, they're going to be able to hopefully know. That's called Probita, right? A little bit of language helps. Those kind of things. This is just a chance to talk the same language. It helps to have a community and language, a team. Get things in order, you're ready to go. Now the 4, 6, 12, 4 hours a day, 6 days a week, 12, it's going to start happening. But I needed to get my tennis shoes and my basketball, and I need to know where the local gym was or the outside hoop was. I had to know these things, or 4, 6, 12 didn't mean anything, really. So that's what this is establishing for you. So now with that, and I tried to keep it shorter this time, Priscilla, last time I couldn't stop talking. We're going to turn the time over to Priscilla. Priscilla, come out here. She is just incredible. Give her a big hand. I've had the pleasure, and I look forward to the same with each one of you, of working with Priscilla, traveling with Priscilla, getting to really know the heart and the type of individual she is. Of course, Jim, is also a key component of that. They're incredible people, great leaders, a lot of experience, good, solid, just, I love them. They're a family to me, and that's what really Visi is to me. And you can see I have a little home family, but I've got a family around the world in Visi Partners. And to me, at the end of the day, I believe we are family. So I love the fact that I get to work with Priscilla and get to know her. She's doing a phenomenal job for us. She's been very helpful, along with many of our leaders, in helping us define, refine, and improve this. There's even some more things that will be coming, and she'll probably share some of that because, again, it's evolving and getting better. So, Priscilla, I'm going to turn the time over, and I'll drive, and you tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you, Paul. Hey, everybody. I'll tell you a little bit about me, but first I'll tell you my life is full of bosses. Jim is my first boss. When anybody from corporate calls, Jim tells me your boss is on the phone. So I have lots of bosses. And I've been married a long time, done the business a long time, former dental hygienist, little dog named Tuggles, end of story. Okay? Simple, simple, simple. Okay, so what did Paul do? He created the preparation work. Now it's time for execution. Right? Everybody is now ready to roll. And where do we need to start off with? There are 3 parts to wheel number 2. Number 1 is your why. Number 2 is your list. And number 3 is actually doing your business. The why is obviously the first place that we want to start out, right? Because that's what fuels our business. When we joined Visi, we actually bought a ticket to the entrepreneurial roller coaster. We have a lot of ups, and we have a lot of downs, and we have a lot of thrills, and we have a lot of fears, and we've got a lot of excitements. What's going to keep us strapped in the seat is that we know where it's going and where it's going to take us, but our why keeps us in the game. Our why keeps us in the seat. So that's why this document is first and why it is so very important. Thank you. Sorry, Kent's going to introduce us to wheel number 2 on the little video before we get to the why. So now we're where I just said. Okay, y'all caught up? Okay, good. All right, so now the document itself is a PDF. And this isn't a simple why, write down why you joined Visi. I want to tell you what, this is a working document. And it's a series of questions followed by prompts of why. Why do you want the things you want? Why are they important to you? Some deep thought that probably a lot of us have never really taken the time to do or think like that. We'll probably learn things about ourselves that we weren't even aware of. And I will tell you that some people may not be ready to do this completely because you have to think about some things about yourself that you may not be ready to think or know or learn or whatever about yourself. So, be forgiving of yourself that this will be a process. When I first started in network marketing, obviously they said, what is your why? I knew there were big things possible, and I wanted big things, but all I could muster up for my why was, I just want to see if I could get my product paid for. But when I did that, that gave me the courage to maybe take the next step and the next step to eventually dream some big dreams. So be patient with yourself and loving of yourself and just work with the system. People are going to come into Visi of 5 different dreamers. Dream makers, dream bakers, dream fakers, dream takers, and dream undertakers. All right? The dream bakers are going to do, the dream makers are going to do this right away, easy. Dream bakers will be those people this has to cook a little bit. Okay? The dream fakers will do this, but it doesn't mean anything, all right? The dream takers will never even be in Visi. And, honey, can you bring me some water, please? Will never even be in Visi, but they're out there. And they are actually very, thank you.
Your boss.
Yeah. I got a good boss. The dream takers are out there, and you have to be aware of them because they're infectious. Okay, so you have to protect yourself from the dream takers. The dream undertakers, a lot of us fit in this category. We buried our dreams. We never thought that they could come true. So we have to have a lot of patience and love and understanding to give people the courage to get that shovel out and start unburying some of these dreams. Okay, so this is going to be a place that you're going to want to come back to work through. This is a place that you're going to want to revisit every day. And this is the place you'll come to on those upside down days to remind yourself, why did I decide to join Visi in the first place? Okay, now once we have an idea of that, you want to display your why. And this is just sharing your why that you'll see every day. It's your reminder. You know, how the dream board, however you want to display your why, this is where you'll do that. The next one is share your why. you're going to want to share your why with your sponsor or the person you're working with. Because, I mean, how many have kids that don't you want to know what your kids want? And on the day they don't want to go to practice or something like that, you can remind them of what it's going to be like if you win the championship, and then they get all excited again to go to practice and do the things they need to do. We want to know that about the people we're working with. So share your why is with that person that you trust, that person who's on your team, to remind you when you're upside down, to bring you back to the why. Okay? Now, we're going to go to your list. The list of people that are going to be in your contacts that you're going to introduce to Visi is like an inventory of a business. All businesses need inventories, okay? If you've got a small dream that you just want to build a log cabin, you don't need a lot of construction boards to do that. But if you want to build a mansion, how many construction boards do you want delivered to the construction site, that empty lot, for a mansion? 10 boards, 20 boards, 50 boards, or hundreds of boards, right? You can't have a large business with small inventory, okay? So how many people have you enrolled and they want to build a big business and you're all excited and they bring you their list of 12 people, right? Has that ever happened to anybody? Right. It could be a couple of things of their dream or their belief or their vision or whatever, but most of the time it's they can't think of the people they know. They say that after we're 30 years old, we all know 3,000 people. We just can't think of them. You know, they're in our memory file cabinet somewhere back there, and we need a memory jogger to help us remember the people we know. This is a 100 question memory jogger of all kinds of things. And it will, here's my philosophy. Let me just say this. When he has to ask you for some of these names, we'll talk about prejudging in a minute. But here's my philosophy, is put their name down if you like them. That's it. No, well, I think they will, or I think they won't, or I think they this, or I think they, just if you like them, put them down. If you don't know them well, or you just have a business card, put them down anyway. You can find out if you like them later, and if you don't, you can uninvite them, okay? If I could find, and there's a question on here about hobbies, about professions. I was a dental hygienist. If I could get a list of all the dental hygienists in North Carolina, that would be a warm market list for me. Okay, right? Because I'm a hygienist, they're a hygienist. I could easily call someone and say, hi, my name is Priscilla Harrison. I was a dental hygienist in North Carolina. Are you still working? And what happens? We have instant connection, instant rapport, instant opportunity to create a relationship and see where this person is in life. So, good heavens, can you see how many construction boards you could bring to your inventory to build this mansion that you want to build? Okay, it's just helping us think is all that this memory jogger is about. Now, you can take the list on the memory jogger and fill them into the second box on here. And see, all these things are checked to the left of these items. This will be unchecked over here to the left. That will be unchecked there when you go through this. You check it right up here at the top, and then it will show up over here. And you can't jump around. You have to do these in the sequential order. There's a purpose for the way everything is put. Okay, so there's no jumping to wheel 2 before you complete wheel 1, and there's no jumping to follow up before you've done the memory jogger. Okay, so it's going to be very standardized. I'm going to use that word. Jim, you weren't in here, and that's his big word. You know, he's a retired airline pilot, and all I've heard all my life is talking about standardized training, standardized training. What you're seeing right now is the most pure form of standardized training I've seen in our industry ever. This can create some big, big things if we use this right and do this right. So I'm very, very excited about this. Okay, so fill in your contact list. You'll transfer the names to the contact list. There's going to be a place for phone numbers. There's going to be a place for emails. There's going to be a place for a check mark of have you have presented to them. And there's going to be boxes for 3 follow-ups. And it's going to tell you in the follow-up section exactly what those 3 boxes mean. So you're going to know exactly where you are, what's going on, and the reason for everything. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. Invite your contacts. That's all our business really is inviting, right? That's it. It's just inviting people to what? The story of Visi. That's it. We want to present the story of Visi to the people on our contacts and let them decide what their interest is. Is it product? Is it business? Is it nothing? But we don't want to decide ahead of time what we're going to invite people to. So we have to invite, it's just like we had a buffet for lunch, right? What if, we'll use you, Paul. What if Paul decided, this group, y'all will just get salad, and I think you'll get soup, and I think you guys will just get dessert. You know, what is that? That's deciding for what somebody else may want, and we don't know that. There is no person that has the ability to prejudge what someone else wants. There is no medical test that we know of that can look inside the heart of a person and know what he or she wants. We can't prejudge. No one can prejudge. We have to let the process work its way through by inviting people, no matter what we think, to the whole story. So on this document, I'll invite your contacts. It's going to talk about that a little bit, and it's going to give you some ideas of invitations, simple invitations, direct invitations, indirect invitations, super indirect invitations that are just really simple, inviting people to the story and letting the tool do the work. And remember on these invitations that you don't want to work so hard on saying the right thing that the invitation comes from your head and not your heart. Okay, because that's the only thing that matters is it comes from your heart, but you need to know in your head kind of what your purpose is. So, you know, I think that, you know, practicing helps comfort. You know, practice the invitation, record your invitation. You know, pull things from different people that you liked and put them all together to make it your own. And, you know, I always say this, but I mean, it's really true. This is what I did. I mean, I went to my house, I invited my furniture. Everybody got invited. You know, the chair got invited, the tables got invited, the dog got invited, the pillows got invited, everybody got invited. And I was pretty good by the time I got on the phone because I had practiced, right? And also, on this, it gives you ideas of how to overcome objections. Okay, it's simple feel, felt, and founds, but gives you a couple ideas. So, so good. Now we get to present Visi to your contacts. Here's the first thing that the company will have, you know, the things that they have for presentations, but you may have your own team call or your own recorded call or things you use. But just like, think about this. If you were going to build that mansion, would you go to that construction site and in your toolbox, you would just have a hammer? You need to have a couple of tools, right? Not a bunch, but a couple. So what do we have? We have live conference calls. We've got recorded calls. We've got videos. We have a CD. We have home meetings. We have hotel meetings. Know what those 5 or 6 tools are, and then don't judge what tool you're going to use based on what you like. It's not about us, right? It's about teaching you how to think to pick the right tool for the person you're talking to. So the criteria that's going to be based on is who do you know, where do they live, what do they do, how do you know them, and what's their relationship with you. And that's going to help you know, oh, Bob commutes 55 minutes every day to work. What's going to be great for Bob? You know, a CD in the car would be great for Bob. If somebody who is very computer savvy, wants information right now, maybe shooting somebody a video. Your social friends that always love to come over to see what's going on, maybe a home meeting is great for them. So part of this is just teaching you how to think to know what invitation to choose from and what tool to choose from. Okay? Follow-up. I love the name that they did for this document. It's called Fearless Follow-Up, right? Because aren't we weenies when it comes to follow-up? Right? We don't want to follow up because somebody may say no, right? And no hurts so bad, doesn't it? No, it doesn't hurt so bad because we're not connected to the answer, right? We're completely oblivious to the answer. We're just into what? The presentation, right? We don't get connected to who says yes to who says no. We get connected to what we do, which is the invitation. So the follow-up has got some great questions to ask. I think, did I say objections were in the other one? Objections, I believe, are in the follow-up. When your follow-up, if you get some objections, some found ideas what to say about that, the right questions to ask. What's the worst question you can say on a follow-up? Anybody know? What'd you think? Whoever said that? Yes, exactly. What'd you think? It's, you have to let the prospect lead the presentation. You have to see, do they want salad or soup or dessert, whatever it is. So you ask, what did you like best off the buffet? And they'll tell you, and then that's where you go, right? It makes it very, very simple. The 3 boxes that we talked about, it will tell you how many people do a follow-up and you have a specific time to talk to someone and they're not there and you don't know what to do, right? This document is going to tell you exactly what to do, what to say on the answering machine, how many times you follow up, how much space is between the follow-up. I mean, it's going to be so, so great. So now let's go to your business. We know all of this stuff now. Now what's it time? Time to launch our business, right? We're just like any other business in that regard. If you were going to open up a shoe store on Main Street, what would you do? You'd have a grand opening, right? You'd have a business launch. You'd tell everybody out. I guess I told the last group. Jim and I went to that fufu. You know what fufu is yet?
I do now.
Okay,
fufu.
fufu.
Last time I said, please define fufu.
Fufu.
That's outside of my language.
Okay. That fufu mall in Vegas, I guess it's downtown Vegas, you call it. It's Black Diamond Shopping. Crystals, do y'all know where Crystals is? Okay, well. We got to go shopping. It is so awesome. Okay, Sarah Jessica Parker has a new shoe line. And she had a tent there, and people were lined up to come in and just see what she had. I mean, you didn't have to buy a pair of shoes to come into the tent. I mean, you could just, she'd give you a cookie for coming in, you know? So, I mean, you invite people to the house, see what you're doing, you give them a cookie, right? And that's just how it works. And if you bought a pair of shoes, she would sign them. But what is she doing? She is opening, letting everybody know, hey, I have a shoe line. I've got a tent over here. I'm on the late night shows here. That's what we do. And so this launch document will give you all kinds of ideas to launch your business. You can launch your business in your home. You can launch your business on social media. You can launch your business in whatever avenue that you have the most comfort level in, but also what appeals to your prospects the best. So you may have multiple launches. Maybe for all your social neighbors, you may want to have a home launch. Maybe for your social media contacts, you want to have a virtual launch. Maybe you want to have even a one-on-one launch with different individuals over a period of a compressed time. So this will tell you all kinds of ideas to launch your business, how many launches you want. You can always relaunch. If it worked out great, you can do it again. If it didn't work out great, you can do it again. You can do whatever you want, but all the ideas are here. Now, this begin income producing activities, I think this is going to go into, y'all can, well, let me ask you a question because can I ask him a question? All right, because, okay, I just want to see what are y'all's thoughts on follow-up if there was a document included on the importance of and how to do three-way calls. Would that be good? That would be good.
Okay.
Write that down. Okay. All right. So now, what about this is if we're in a business, we haven't had a business most of us out of our home before. We don't really know how to employ ourselves. One of the things we have to teach people to do is how to have a simple business rhythm. Paul says, don't tell me, 4, 6, 12, okay? What about 2, 5, 10, and 12? 2, 5, 10, and 12. You know what 2, 5, 10, and 12 is? Yes, you do. 2 exposures a day, 5 days a week, equals 10 in play, 12 months out of the year. So I'm going to get a shirt that has 2, 5, 10, 12, okay? But that is the beginning. Yes, sir?
I'm just going to ask, would it be possible for the person to have a field where they can put in their phone numbers for who they can do three-way calls with, who they can call to get their new partners on the phone with? You know, just to give them something, you know, because in a flash they might get flustered and not be able to think who they can call to tie somebody into a three-way call.
Right. So maybe the form itself says, you know, here's some of the names I might want to include in that, or we can help them.
And you get whoever you sponsor to know who are the, that's a great idea. Did you write that one down?
Yep.
Okay.
Still trapped.
Okay, all right. Okay, so yeah, let me just get through, because like my brain, ADD stuff, then we'll have time. If I talk real fast, we'll have time for questions, okay? Because we're almost through, all right? Because this is important. This is a business rhythm. This is our life, a business rhythm. 2 a day, 2 exposures a day. I'm going to propose this to you. 2 exposures a day, 5 days a week, give you a 10 in play. We do this 12 months a year. How many people have ever read the Zig Ziglar book of Pumping the Well, the water? And you pump, 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 and there is no water. And so you finally give up pumping because you don't think there is any water, and you can't see in the well. Little did you know that when you quit pumping, the water was this far away. Okay, it's the rhythm of doing the same thing over and over and over again, and not focusing on the results, but focusing on the activity for a long enough period of time. And in our business, it works a little bit the same way. And I don't know how to explain it other than if you expose a minimum of 2 people a day, 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 2 people a day. And here's what happens is people will do this for 6 weeks. They'll do it for 3 months. Some even do it for 6 months. And if they don't get the results they want, what happens? People then get discouraged, and they kind of slow down, or maybe they go paint their house, or they go on vacation, or they do something. What happens to the water in the well? It all goes back down. We create in the atmosphere by this activity of something is going to happen when you do the same consistent activity over and over and over again without letting up. If you go on vacation, or you get discouraged and you slow down, or you go paint your house, the energy you created that something is going to happen all goes away. And now you've got to start all over again. So this developing this habit, this rhythm of this, if you write any notes today, write this down. Time equals a compounding effect. Time equals a compounding effect. So when you do the same thing over and over and over and over and over time, a compounding effect will take place, and the magic will happen in your business. It's when we quit and start and quit and start. I mean, I had this lesson from my boss, because, he used to listen to me on the phone, and like I say, he was my boss, and when he'd hear me start and stop, because we all do it, right, when we're learning, right? And so he said, what if I flew my airplane like you run your business? And I said, what do you mean? And he said, what if we got all prepared, right? Did all of our stuff in the whatever that room they do their stuff in at the airport. And we got on the airplane. It was time to go. And we pushed the throttles up, pushed them back. Started, stopped. Started, stopped. All the way down the runway. He said, we'd be doing something, we'd be busy, but we'd never take off. We'd never reach our destination. He said, your business is just like mine. He said, speed is life in my business, and it is in yours too. Consistent activity. Now, how do we maintain the 2 a day every single day? Because we're emotional people. Add to that 10 pages of a personal growth book every day. Can everybody read 10 pages of a book a day? Yes. Is it easy to do? Is it easy not to do? Yes, it's a choice every single day. But when I first came to North Carolina, we had to, I'm almost done. Okay, I started gardening. We couldn't garden in Texas. Here's what I learned about gardening. You can grow weeds easier than you can grow seeds. Anybody get that? It works in our mind the same way, okay? 10 pages of a good book, a personal development book every day helps us to weed our mind early and often. And if we don't, it allows a weed or a negative thought to take root in our mind. And it's a whole lot harder to get rid of. 2 a day, 10 in play, 10 pages of a good book every single day. And then what would you think about partnering up with one individual that's kind of on the same business level that you are, and you have a high five, touch base call every day, takes 20 seconds. I did my 2 and 10, how about you? 2 exposures a day, 10 pages of a good book. I did my 2 and 10, how about you? Did my 2 and 10, great. Not a coaching call, not a chat call. It's a partnering checkup call. And I did my 2 and 10. How about you? You know, I did my 1. I haven't done my 10. Oh, my gosh. Do your 10 before you close your eyes tonight. I'll call you in the morning to make sure you get your 2 done tomorrow. That's it. Just somebody to touch base with. I mean, we do it in the gym. We do it in teams. This can be a lonely business if we do it by ourselves. So let me end by saying this, that if you go through these wheels with earnest and you teach your team to go through these wheels in earnest, you can take a 40-year career and you can compress it into 4 years by consistent daily business rhythm that you can spin the wheel of fortune in your life. So thank you very much.